What's up, everybody? Jed Johnson here from look at that thumb, dude. Would you look at that thumb? Unbelievable. Just amazing. I mean, come on, dude. This is day 18 out of 31 days of Q&A. Dude, we're well over halfway through the month. If you haven't subscribed yet, you got to do it right now. And if you like what I present to you in this video, make sure to give it one of these. Big thumbs up. The question comes from Cal Tweedy, and he wants to know how long to wait between max gripper attempts. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about max gripper attempts beyond just the scope of that question. And I think by far people have cases of PR syndrome, guys. And what that means is they're trying to PR on grippers far too often. I talk about this in my ebook, CBT, Cadence-Based Training for Grippers. And the problem with that is, you know, think about the bench press, okay? Pretty much everybody bench presses. Let's say you're going for 225. You're stuck at 220, but you just can't get 225. Are you going to want to go into the gym every time you train bench and try to hit 225 for a max and miss it 3 times, wear yourself out, possibly have an injury, overtrain potentially? I don't think that's a real good idea. And chances are when you were in high school, you tried that out and it didn't really work that well. So instead, what you need to do is you need to work at slightly lower percentages and get really good at lifting those weights. And before you know it, your overall PR on the bench press will increase. But you're not going to see that increase by constantly testing your bench press. You want to bring up your bench press through training means. The same thing can be said for grippers. Far too often people have that PR gripper and they constantly try to close it and they miss it by an eighth of an inch, quarter of an inch, and it just gets wider and wider and wider and wider the more times they try it. You're far better off working with a lighter gripper and work on exhibiting complete control on that gripper by really manhandling it, closing it, and holding it shut for periods of time. This is what cadence-based training is all about. And that's why it's the most successful gripper training program out there. Yes, it is a program. There is an 8-week program in cadence-based training. And there's even a beginner's version that's kind of a light version, less volume. So I encourage you to pick that up. The other thing you're going to want to pick up is you're going to need more. Like a lot of people I know have either the full set of Ironman grippers or the full set of heavy grips grippers or whatever. They buy a whole bunch of them all at once, and that's cool. But the problem is you got really big jumps. So basically you're trying to get to 225 on the bench press by only working with 135, right? 1 plate on the bar versus 2 plates on each side of the bar, okay? This is not going to work. You're gonna need in-between grippers. So you wanna get things like Beef Builder grippers, Gillingham High Performance grippers, things along those lines. There's other gripper companies out there, but I don't necessarily recommend them because the spread of the grippers is narrower. So I would stick with Beef Builder and Gillingham High Performance if you're working on the Captains of Crush, and you know those 3 gripper companies together will work really well for bringing up strength on each other. Hope that made sense, okay? Basically, you're not going to hit 225 on the bench by just constantly trying to max out with 225 on the bench. Same thing goes for grippers. If you just constantly try to max out on grippers, you'll eventually get there, guys, but it's going to make the road a lot longer. It's a lot better idea to knock the percentages down a little bit, get really good at those, really own that gripper, manhandle those slightly lighter grippers, and eventually you'll be up to your goal gripper. Hope that's been helpful. If it was, give it one of these, guys. Help me out. Share with your friends who are also training on grippers and seem frustrated. Leave a comment below. Tell me what questions you'd like to see featured for the rest of the month. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe. All the best in your training. Take care.